Hey everyone, this is the continuation to last week's comic story. I'm a little bit late, sorry. So, as we last seen, Guardian disappeared and no one knows where he is. Femme Fatale, still waiting for him to show up, goes searching the city at high speeds and the hospitals, but no one knows where he is. Let's skip forward 10 months and she hasn't found him. And she tried to find him alone, but since she doesn't know his secret identity, or where he actually lives, she thought at times that he might have given up. But she still needs to talk to him. She wants to say something to him. And so she asks a mutual friend of them, called Sky Archer. Well, Sky Archer is the hero of the neighboring city, but he actually knows the true identity of Guardian. When the two of them meet, and she asks for information about how to find him, he said that he wouldn't give up the information to her even if they were friends. He has more respect for him than that. And he told her that he been in contact with him and that he knows that he's still alive. But he will not come back. But she said that she wanted him to come back. And then Archer turned her back on her and said, I also want him to come back. He is my friend. But there's nothing none of us can say that will make him come back to this life. And then she said, who can? Who can make him come back? And Archer said, of all the person in his life, he never listened to none of us. He only follow his own mind. But there's one person that he will listen to. And that he, Archer himself, would call that person. A week later, Guardian, or as in civilian name, Travis, is walking the street trying to have a normal life away from the hero. Until he gets a phone call from his grandpa. And he agrees to meet his grandpa in a rooftop. After arriving there, his grandpa said, why aren't you using your street top clothes? And he says to his grandpa, sorry grandpa, but I given up that life. And his grandpa said to him that he knows what happened to Juliet, and that he is sorry that his girlfriend was dead, but isn't protecting the people, make sure that doesn't happen, that he became a hero in the first place. And then Guardian said, it doesn't matter anymore. What is good is protecting if they keep on dying. I keep on protecting the city, but the people still come and kill each other. It is not, regardless of what I do, regardless of how much people I put in jail, people are still killing each other. Is there even any hope left that they won't kill each other anytime soon? Am I even getting through to them? Then his grandpa said, no, I don't think you are getting through to this generation, but there are kids out there that look at you and want to be like you. You may not inspire this generation to stop being the way they are, but you may inspire the next generation to be better than what they are. It may not show you may not even see the fruits of your work in your lifetime. But just like me, when I was in the army, you do it not for the people next to you, but the people that will come after you. After hearing his grandfather's speech, Guardian, or Travis, started thinking, and he was right. Guardian was so deep in sorrow that he actually forgot those words his grandpa told him a few years ago when he first started this. He turned back to his grandpa and says, you're right. I don't do this for those who live now. I do this to inspire those that will live in the future. And he says, "Thank you, Grandpa." And his grandpa says, "We're family. Anytime you fall down, you can always rely on me to help you get up." Later that day, as the sun was setting, Guardian meets up in his superhero suit with Femme Fatale. And he tells her that, "Thanks for not giving up on me. My grandpa actually told me that you went to talk with Archer. That get me out to get me out of my slump. If there's anything I can do for you, Femme Fatale, I will do it." After hearing those words, Femme Fatale says, "There is something I have always wanted from you." And then she uses her super speed to pop up in front of him and kiss him. A few weeks later, Femme Fatale responds to an emergency call from a company. And when she goes in, someone appears from behind her and knocks her out. A few days later, while Guardian hasn't seen Femme Fatale since the day of the kiss, is wondering what to do. But before he can actually think more, he hears someone behind. And when he looks back, he sees a kid in a green suit and asks him, "Who the hell is he?" And the kid says, "I am Tower." And Guardian remembers that some of the guinea pigs from Dr. Insane's experiment actually developed superpowers, and that Tower was working with Femme Fatale. And Guardian asked what the hell did he want from him, and he said, "I haven't heard from Femme Fatale in a long while. I was wondering if she was okay, so I looked you up." And then he says, "I don't know where she is." "What do you mean you haven't heard from her?" And he said that they have training and that she never missed training. Guardian gets worried and decides to contact a friend that can help him find her. Tower asks to go with him, but he says no, and says that there's a robbery at the bank right now and he could go deal with that. Tower agrees with him, and they each go their separate ways. While Guardian did not know where Femme Fatale was, he had a friend that could track anyone down. His name was Red Star. But unfortunately, Red Star was not a native to Earth and could not stay on Earth due to his powers of gravity. But that's something I will continue in a later video. But furthermore, Guardian made an appointment with Red Star, and when the two of them met, they exchanged pleasantries, saying hello to each other and whatnot. Unfortunately, they could not catch up on their conversation, and Guardian went straight to the subject and said, "Where is Femme Fatale?" And Red Star used his powers to locate her and told them the exact location of her. Not by address, because he did not know, but he could tell like the longitude, like the coordinates to get there. As Guardian is getting to the place where Femme Fatale is being stored, a man looks at him from a distance. This man is Narcissus. Name is Narcissus. Narcissus is a mercenary for hire. And his job was to kidnap Femme Fatale and lure Guardian to the rescue. As Guardian gets into the building, Narcissus activates a special bomb that goes off, taking Guardian and Femme Fatale with it, but not killing them. That's something I'll explain later. A few weeks later, Sky Archer is back in town with his new suit left to him by Guardian, investigating everything. He meets up with Tower, and Tower tells him what happened. That Femme Fatale and Guardian are both disappearing, and he hasn't seen Guardian since he went looking for Femme Fatale. Sky Archer, for short, went to ask Red Star for the same information. And he says that they're not anywhere. They can't be found right now. And Archer gets confused and asks, "Are they dead?" And Red Star says that no, they are not dead, because if they were dead, you could still find their bodies. They're completely erased. They're not in another planet or dimension. They're simply not in that plane of existence. But they're not dead. That's all he could say. After Red Star leaves the planet again, he asks for him to tell him the last place he knew they were, which was Femme Fatale's latest known location. As Sky Archer goes there, he gets to the place and he sees something he was not prepared to see. He sees a big-ass hole in the ground with some lava and floating rocks. He uses his instruments to try to get a read on what's happening there, and he couldn't get nothing. It's like nothing was there. And he says to himself, what happened here? And he hears a voice, a familiar voice, saying, isn't it beautiful? And he looks back, and what he sees is a man with a strong resemblance to Guardian. It's like he's seeing another version of Guardian. He's just like Guardian, but his skin tone and hair are different, and his eyes are red as blood. When he asks, who are you? Because although he looks like Guardian, Archer is not stupid to fall for that. And another person shows up and says, that's what happened when you turn on a time bomb. He gets confused again and says, who are you? And then the man says to him, what's the matter? Don't you recognize me, father? Well, that is the end of our story, and I will continue with the rest of it next week. But I will do some character origins on this channel, explaining where the characters came from. My name is Mike, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week with the continuation of this story.